morning, everyone. It is November 6th, and I'm Michelle Kinney here with Julie Roginski. It is 8 a.m. here in New York, 8 a.m. Sorry, is it a.m.? Yeah. It's Thursday, and it's been a long week. It's 8 a.m. here in New York, 8 a.m. in Cincinnati, Ohio, where J.D. Vance's brother got shellacked in his bid to become the city's mayor. Welcome to the MAYDAY morning show. Julie, there's so much going on. It's really hard to even plan for this show.
Yep.
Because
just so you guys know, we planned for the show the night before.
Yeah.
Pretty late the night before. Like we stay up pretty late to plan the show. And then something happens overnight that kind of just throws everything out the window. And Michelle texted me this just a few minutes went on. And I said, whoa, scrap the A block, scrap the A block.
Right.
Let's talk about this first. So Michelle, sorry, go ahead.
No. So it's funny because I got up, it was a hair day, ladies, you know what I'm talking about. It was the hair wash day. So I had to get up a little bit earlier. So I'm like drying my hair and I look at my phone, I'm open my Instagram messages, and my friend / cousin, Amy, texts me this thing from Rudy Giuliani. And she's like, what in the actual F? And I actually couldn't believe it. So I sent it to Julie, and Julie's like, wait, is this real? I'm like, yes, unfortunately. Yes, it is. I'm going to show it here. It says that he posted this one day ago. So I don't know if this was like yesterday morning or what, but I'm just going to throw this up on screen. And let me take this banner down so you can see.
I mean,
this is insane.
Okay, first of all, Rudy Giuliani has been going insane for as long as I can remember. The Rudy Giuliani of 9/11, by the way, was a complete fabrication. On for those of us from around here, on 9/10, the day before 9/11, Rudy Giuliani was loathed. He was literally ending his term as mayor, and people were sick of him and they wanted him gone.
Yeah.
And don't forget, he put New York's emergency response in the World Trade Center. After it was bombed in 1993, and he was told consistently,
yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that. Of course, he puts it in the #1 terrorist target in America. Then on 9/11, he did okay. He did a good job kind of rallying the city together. He also tried to stay on as mayor against the New York Constitution, tried to basically shoehorn himself, like Donald Trump, into a third term, which is unconstitutional, or was unconstitutional at the time, until Michael Bloomberg did it for other reasons, which is also stupid. But Rudy Giuliani, Joe Biden once said, a noun, a verb, and 9/11 is all Rudy Giuliani used to be able to
talk. Yeah, I'm the 9/11 mayor, I'm the this, I'm the that.
Mayor, all this nonsense.
Spoke at the graduation at Syracuse University that year, and I remember it was like the biggest deal because, it's the same year as 9/11, everything, and there's a lot of students, who had lost people or whatever, and my how time has been cruel to all of us.
Well, I got to tell you, like when I hear some Rudy Giuliani gossip, when I was at Fox, Rudy was there all the time.
I'm sure.
And of course, he was very close to Roger Ailes. But he was also on TV all the time. He would come in with a security guy. Now, there are a lot of people who would come in. Dick Cheney would be there all the time. He was unaccompanied. If there was Secret Service with him, I don't think there was actually. He would just come in. This is after he was vice president. This was also long after Rudy was no longer mayor. Rudy would come in, and we would sit in the green room. And to get into Fox News is like getting into Fort Knox. Like there's a billion, it's not easy to get in, right? So
like security wise, like there's a lot of
security wise, you just can't walk in there, right? So it's like almost impossible.
It's like MSNBC now. You got to go through like a map.
Yeah, all of them, right? Same thing. MSNBC is the same, CNN's the same. Like you can't get in unless you're supposed to be there. So if you're in the green room at Fox News, like you're in a very, very safe place.
Right.
Rudy Giuliani would come in, and he and I would sit in the green room together, and there would be nobody else in the green room. And I was working there, like I was on air, and he knew that. I would go, like if I would use the bathroom in the green room, his security guy would go into that bathroom and like sweep it. Like after I left, like, did I plant a bomb? Did I like do something to like kill Rudy in there? I'm like, what in the actual fuck do you think that I am doing to harm Rudy? Like I work here. You can't just walk in here with like arm, and he
right. I'm just like, using the bathroom, like
totally crazy. And you
like
never
really paranoid.
There are people who are much more important in the scheme of things, like Dick Cheney, the vice president, who,
Right.
no longer vice president, but it was shortly after, he would just come in, he'd be fine. There wouldn't be any, drama. Rudy, the drama, like the drama. It
Well,
was just
that's the thing about
it
him.
was
It's
so
it's it's
performative.
the flair. It's now again, listen, I've been doing this too much lately, but it's like invoking the last place that I worked at was like there was, was former Republicans and they all knew Rudy or worked for him or whatever, and would tell me stories about what it was like, and like a lot of, you'd end up at something with some questionable people, and and like that's Rudy Giuliani. He has a long history in New York City of being, I guess, flamboyant in a way. Like, I mean, there's just something about him that's so,
But,
I don't know,
but,
over the top.
but Michelle, let's talk about that tweet because can
Yeah.
you put that up again just for a
Yeah,
second?
this was on Instagram.
Okay, so let's just talk about that. First of all, that is the most Islamophobic bullshit I
Oh,
have
it's
ever seen
horrendous.
in my life. And I don't care how you feel about Zohran Mamdani. I
Mhm,
don't care how you feel about Zohran Mamdani. What
mhm.
you should care about is the fact that the former mayor of New York City just tweeted out something that implies that Zohran Mamdani, because he happens to be Muslim, is now going to blow up buildings in New York City and kill New Yorkers. That
That
he's
is
that he's a jihadist, that he is anti-American, that he is I guess, an Al-Qaeda plant.
mhm. I
And
heard Republicans saying this yesterday, and I watched so many clips yesterday, Julia, I don't remember who it was, but there was more than one calling Zohran Mamdani a jihadist. You've gotta be kidding me.
this is the kind of shit, you guys, that makes people vote for Zohran Mamdani, okay?
Yes.
Who otherwise would not have voted for him.
Correct.
This is the kind of shit that makes people rally around their mayor.
Mhm.
Because for those of us who are from New York, those of us who lived through 9/11 and take it seriously and not as a meme to go after people based on their religion,
Yeah.
we're disgusted, Mr. Mayor. We are disgusted at you.
Mhm.
We are disgusted at you exploiting the death of 3,000 of your fellow Americans, many of them New Yorkers,
Yep.
to score political points.
Not to mention the thousands and thousands of people who have died since. More people have died since 9/11 who were
First
near
responder.
the pile, the people who worked on the pile, the people who worked near or lived nearby from rare cancers caused by 9/11. And it is like that. And then that's what proves that all of this shit is performative. They don't care.
I don't care.
They don't care. This is about, and yes, hatred towards Muslims for sure. Um, but it's also just about them. It's about owning the libs. It's about being shocking. It's about doing something. I mean, here we are talking about Rudy Giuliani on Thursday, November 6th. We never would have been talking about him.
Yeah,
And the thing is, too, with Rudy Giuliani is that listen, he's an alcoholic. He's an alcoholic. He's got a drinking problem, like
that is
serious drinking problem.
and I think also he's got dementia. Like enough people have been around have lately. I'm not going to diagnose him, but
Yeah.
something's not right. And
Yeah.
if that's true, that's very sad, like incredibly sad. But then you take away the phone.
Right. I'm like, Shady Pines, let's go. Like, enough of this.
Yeah, you
You
take
know?
away the phone. Like his kids got to have to step in
Right.
because
He's terrorizing people.
this
That's
is
gonna get people hurt.
yes, that is disgusting. There's going to be some wackadoodle who's going to see that and is going to target Zora Mondani, who I'm sure is already the target of a lot of threats
Oh my God, yeah.
and probably needs more security than other mayors would need. He's implying that if you want to stop the next Osama bin Laden, you've got to stop Zora Mondani. That is what Rudy Giuliani is basically saying. And by the way, what is that weird Jesus thing with his face kind of floating above?
Oh,
Like that's
let me,
a
yeah.
little- yeah. I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's well, it's subpar Photoshop, but it's, and it's funny. I hate that I know so much about, I wasn't here on 9/11. I was in Syracuse, but I just know from that angle, I know exactly what video that was taken from. There was like a dorm room and there was a couple college kids, I think at Pace. And like I know that like that's what that's from, and superimposing his own face and survivors, because there's other people in that photo. How'd you like to be this guy over here on the right? Like made it into that. Just awful. Just awful. New York, you forgot. And like that's the thing that makes me crazy too, Julie, is that, you know, 364 days a year as New Yorkers, we are told by Republicans that cities are horrible and we're awful people and this is dirty and it's crime ridden and it's this, that, but then one day a year they all go down to ground zero and they stand there and pretend to give a shit. And it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit.
Jon Stewart had to go with tears in his eyes to Capitol Hill over and over and over
Oh
again
God, yes.
to have them pass funding for the first
Yeah,
responders.
I know. There was a firefighter my dad worked with who passed away just a few years ago from a 9/11 related cancer. He was in New York doing, there's like a firefighters training thing that's like right here. And so he was here in the city. And it was one of those things, everybody went down to the pile. He worked on the pile, I think, for like a couple days or something. And I think it was probably 12 years later he died.
Yeah, and the Republicans took years
Mhm.
to pass any kind of relief for these families and
Mhm.
for these firefighters, for these first responders who were working on the pile. And it wasn't just firefighters; it was
Yeah, it was Port Authority, it
yeah,
was
it was
police officers, it was, you know
and I I worked in the Senate at the time, and I don't remember how I ended up going to the pile shortly after 9/11. I was in Washington, but we came back, and I'm trying to think of why I was. There's a little viewing platform over the pile, and
Oh, I know exactly, yeah,
yeah,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
it was awful. It was
Mhm,
just
mhm,
awful,
mhm,
and to exploit that for anybody who went through 9/11, for anybody who's in America, anybody who's alive on 9/11, because I know there are people in this chat from Australia and Britain and other places. I
mhm.
remember so well how the world rallied around us.
Oh, yeah.
I remember so well how people were crying in other parts of the world because
Mhm.
they felt like they were New Yorkers that day.
'Cause you just couldn't believe
Grasp it.
your eyes. It like I was like, "Wait, they used the they flew airplanes?" And, like,
Yeah,
it just seemed
uh,
like not out of a horror film, but not even it was unimaginable.
because it was so simple, right? It was so
Yeah.
like you didn't need to
Yeah.
like plan explosives. You didn't need to go like you just hijacked a plane and flew it into a building, which I
Mhm.
guess people around the world felt anybody could do if with enough
Mhm.
planning and enough foresight. It's harder now after 9/11, but still. And you're right, Cynthia Rice. Like everything did change after 9/11. Everything we are a different
Everything.
world after
Yeah.
9/11.
Certainly a
But
different country,
but
that's for sure.
but the one thing I would say as somebody who is Jewish,
Mhm.
and somebody who ironically my best friend since the age of 12 or 13, since the 8th grade, is Muslim.
Mm.
When I was working in the Senate, I called her parents because they have a pretty Arab sounding last name. And I said, "Are you okay? And is there anything that I can do to protect you?" Because
Yeah.
the crazy threats that they were getting of people just going through the phone book, and they have a name that is the beginning of the alphabet. So if you're looking for a Muslim name in the phone book, you're going,
Yeah.
the alphabet, you get to them pretty quickly.
Mhm.
These poor people felt compelled to fly an American flag and to put an American flag decal in the back of their car,
Yeah.
just to, which they never would have done. These are not bumper sticker people.
Right.
Um, just to make it, just to make people understand that they were Americans.
Mhm.
And I've never forgotten that, and I've never been more disgusted when I found out that they had to do that. I spoke to her parents. They are like a second parent, like, when you have friends and you have parents who are like, I spent so much time
Mhm.
in the house growing up and since, like,
Yeah, they're like aunties and,
they literally sign mom and dad too. Whenever they send me birthday cards or anything,
Yeah.
I sign it mom and dad too, because that's how strongly I feel about them.
Mm.
I feel about me. Like, I've never forgotten that.
Yeah.
And to have this kind of exploitation. I mean, are Muslims going to hate anybody who's Christian because of the crusade? Like what are we doing here? What are we doing here? We are literally just exploiting religion to score people. I hate it. I hate it with every fiber of my being. I hate these people for what they're making Americans become.
I know. I'm going back to his Instagram right now just because I wanted to just look at the grid. You know what I mean? See it on the grid. And I'm just going to hold my phone up here. And like, here it is right in the middle. And I'm looking at, now I don't follow Rudy Giuliani. I don't even hate follow him. And there's so many, I'm seeing all these videos of Zoran all over his feed. And it's just awful. Like these people, man, I just, and this is also part of the whole oorah America gross patriotism. And I think that really was put a split in a lot of this. At least that's my theory, is that the patriotism after 9/11, rightfully so, became much bigger and much louder. You know, there was country songs, I'm going to put a boot in your ass, blah, 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 blah. And slowly but surely, liberals or Democrats felt yucky, like having huge displays of patriotism, like giant flags and shit like that. And because all of the oorah Republicans had like 9,000 flags hanging out the back of their trucks, and like it just became icky. And at some point, the Republicans took ownership, quote unquote, of patriotism. And Democrats kind of pushed away. And that was through, you know, the Iraq War and everything like that. But it's, I mean, I guess you could call it patriotism. I think it wanders into nationalism. But, you know, and that's why I think it's so important now, all this time later, that all of us, no matter where you come from, if you were born here or not, if you're from a city, if you're from the country, if you are black or white or brown, that flag belongs to you too.
Yeah.
You should, you know, if you feel so, you know, inspired to. I mean, I have this here in my office. They don't own any of this stuff.
Yep.
Because you know what? On 9/11, Democrats were killed, Republicans were killed, independents were killed, Christians, Muslims, Jews. It wasn't, you know, and they love to make it sound like, you know, the Muslims came to New York and killed all the white people. Like that's the narrative that they like to set. And just seeing more of this, however many years later, you know, 25 years later is so disgusting, Julie.
It's just gross. I don't know what else to say. It's just gross. And you know what, you guys, I'm going to be very honest with you. I'm just tired.
Yeah.
I'm just tired. It's been 25 years of this shit almost, with this exploitative, performative
it's like clickbait in like,
yeah,
you know, real life.
It's just done so that we talk about it, and it's just done to divide people. Just done to get us to try to hate each other.
So because if we're fighting each other, we're not fighting them, and
right.
they can, you know, they can grab onto more levers of power.
And I'll finally, I'll just end it with this because I don't want to spend the rest of the show talking about Giuliani. These are the people, as we sit here today, that have gotten rid of all of our counterintelligence for the most part. And have redeployed it to fighting Mexicans at the border.
Yep.
And we are in more danger today from a Osama bin Laden clone than we have been since before 9/11. Because all of the safeguards that have been put into place, whether you like them or not, and some of them went really overboard, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was theater. Yeah, a lot of it, but it is.
But the counterintelligence professionals at the FBI, whose job it was to monitor for this kind of situation, are either gone or redeployed to this horrible immigration situation. And so I guess I'll take it from people who actually care about protecting Americans, but I'm not going to take it from this crew who are doing more than anybody's ever done to put us in danger. They make George Bush, who was clueless prior to 9/11, look like he was on top of it, because they are purposely putting us in danger. So I'm going to end with that, Michelle, unless you want to add something else, because I don't want to talk about this asshole anymore, other than to say I cannot fathom that somebody has not taken Rudy Giuliani's phone away, that's gotten him the treatment that he deserves, both for his alcoholism and for what I believe is truly the fact that he is very sad, but going down a very dark path.
Very dark path.
A very sad path, and a path that a lot of elderly people go down. So I'm not judging it. I'm just simply saying that when that happens, Rudy Giuliani's children, Andrew and Caroline, I don't think Caroline's really in touch with him.
Yeah.
But Giuliani, who is in touch with him. Andrew?
No, right. The one who was up at the podium.
Yeah. Andrew, you're a grown-up boy now. Be a good son.
Yeah.
Get your dad the help that he needs. Signed, somebody whose mother is going through something similar, and therefore I know how hard it is. Take control of your father's life, because he has dementia and it's not good. Yeah. All right. On that note, let's move on.
On that note, let's move on.
Well, Michelle, let me say this. A new national poll finds that most Americans feel like their grocery bills and utility costs are turbocharged, and many of them are pointing the finger at Donald John Trump for the mess. A Washington Post ABC News Ipsos poll found that approximately 7 in 10 Americans say their grocery costs have risen in the past year. Is that a shock to anybody? While about 6 in 10 say their utility costs have gone up. Is it only 6 in 10? Because I feel like it should be 10 in 10. And approximately 2 in 5 say the same about healthcare, gas, and housing. And that's before the Obamacare subsidies lapse, which they're about to. And then it's not going to be 2 in 5. It will be 5 in 5. So, Michelle, no wonder that Donald Trump got his ass handed to him from sea to shining sea on Tuesday. But never fear, you guys. Trump has discovered a word everyone who isn't grifting on the public dole has long known. The word of the day, according to Donald Trump, it's a new one.
It's a new word. It's a new word.
Yes, he said, and I think we have the video for this. He said there's a new word that people are talking about. It's called, brace yourselves, affordability.
Yeah.
You're not grifting.
I mean,
like off this administration, the way he is, you have known about affordability for a very long time.
And listen, in the toxic soup, which is any day with these people, I felt that yesterday was so much damage control. One side of the GOP was saying one thing, Donald Trump was saying another thing, Fox News was saying another thing, and it was like, I actually, going through these clips, I could not believe that all of this happened in one day. And so at about 11 o'clock last night, I was like, you know what? Let me throw a little something together. So this is just a super cut of some of the crazy shit that went down yesterday.
Last night was a disaster. It was an electoral blowout. The results in New Jersey were disastrous. The results in Virginia were terrible.
Democrats won all over the country.
I don't think it was good for Republicans.
A new poll finds about 70% of Americans say groceries are more expensive now than they were a year ago. And about 60% of them are blaming President Trump.
Actually, I don't think anything's going to hurt. We are so strong now.
And Donald Trump himself even admitted the shutdown, the Republicans are getting blamed for it.
The shutdown was a big factor, negative for the Republicans. That I'm not sure that anything's going to hurt, but it would be good to open it up.
And that they needed to talk more about affordability.
You know, they have this new word called affordability, and they don't talk about it enough.
I don't think the loss last night was any reflection about Republicans at all.
I mean, my endorsement means a lot to me.
Look, Democrats didn't just win in blue places. They broke the supermajority in the Mississippi state legislature.
If we lose the majority in the House, they will try to end the Trump administration. He won't have 4 years, he'll have only 2.
They flipped seats in Texas that had never even been competed recently.
They will move to impeach him probably on the first day of the new Congress in January 2027.
We had huge victories all throughout the country in local races, school board races.
The Democrats shut down the government out of fear.
Right? It was a massive, massive victory. The best off-year performance the Democrats have ever had.
They have never been more afraid at any point than they are right now.
I'm talking to, well, Donald Trump is a mean person. I'm not a mean person. Not that we discriminate. You could look at him and say, these are not going to be perfect for our country. These are not going to be productive people. These are going to be anti-productive people. For generations, Miami has been a haven for those fleeing communist tyranny in South Africa. Look at South Africa, what's going on. Look at South America, what's going on. This maniac, this lunatic person, happened to be a woman. Sir, what are you going to do about egg prices? And people weren't buying Easter eggs. Do you believe it? President Donald J. Trump, and I'm looking at the teleprompter, stone cold blank. They did it on purpose. We have a G20 meeting in South Africa. South Africa shouldn't even be in the G's.
Michelle Kinney, I'm sorry. This is the first time I'm seeing this along with everybody else. You are so good. Wait, guys, can we just stop for a second before we talk about that shit show that Michelle just displayed? And just, Michelle, put that together. You're up till, I know you texted me at like 2 a.m.
Yeah, I thought you were up to it.
No, I wasn't.
No,
but
you weren't.
the fact that you're actually looking good and able to put 2 sentences together this morning is fantastic. But that should be shown far and wide. You guys, that happened in one day. That happened in one day. So, I mean, it's crazy. Speaking of Shady Pines, can somebody please? Donald Trump has a lot of kids. I know none of them really care about him except in how they can grift off of him. But like, can somebody take control of his phone and his mic? He's not well. He was talking about people fleeing South America, but he thought it was South Africa. And then he started talking about how he had a meeting in South Africa, and it was a G20 meeting, and South Africa shouldn't be in
He's
the
like,
G.
they shouldn't even be in the G's. I was like, what?
But let me say this, a couple of things. Actually, I feel like I always say I have a Substack coming out about this, but I actually do have a Substack.
You do. You write every day.
I write every day, and I do have a Substack coming out about this. And basically, I'll spare you guys if you don't want to read it. But he said something that I think is very pernicious and something that we should all pay attention to.
Mm-hmm.
He said that, and let me actually pull up the actual quote, that basically they can't win, the Republicans. They can't win if he's not on the ballot.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, he does say that.
And he basically posted this in Truth Social in all caps, by the way, after 10 p.m. on election night. Trump wasn't on the ballot and shut down the Trump. I'm sorry. I know I'm reading this like I can't read, but it's because I'm so illiterate and I'm trying to, in my mind, try to fix the grammar, and I shouldn't. I just read what he said.
Yeah, just read it as is. It's
Trump wasn't on the ballot and shut down were the 2 reasons that Republicans lost the elections tonight, according to pollsters. This is what Trump wrote on Truth Social. Mm-hmm. So the key here is, of course, that Trump was not on the ballot, is what he's saying.
Right.
He wants to be on the ballot. He's basically telling Republicans that without him, they will lose.
Mm-hmm.
And
this is one of the things I actually left out because I was trying to keep it under 3 minutes. Mike Johnson says at that press conference, he's like, Donald Trump is going to be on the ballot. He's going to be on the ballot in 2026. And he keeps saying it. He's not going to be. His name is not going to be on the ballot, but it's like he keeps saying it for Donald Trump and for everybody else, trying to give them some sort of.
But I think it's actually worse than that, Michelle. The fact that he's talking about how Trump wasn't on the ballot and that's why you lost is translation. Put me on the ballot in 28 and you will win. You can't win without me, is what he's telling Republicans. Now, this is a man who has consistently waffled on whether he's going to run for a 3rd term, right? First, he said he was on Air Force One last week on his Asia trip, and he said the following. He said, if you read it, it's pretty clear. He's talking about the Constitution. If you read it, it's pretty clear. I'm not allowed to run. It's too bad, right? But I don't think Trump really believes that, because then Mike Johnson kind of gave up the game a few days later. And he said, I have talked about the constrictions of the Constitution. And he added, I don't see a path for that. Well, why would Johnson and Trump be talking about the constrictions of the Constitution for a third term?
Right.
Why would Trump be consulting him if you weren't actively exploring a third term, which of course he is? And then he went on 60 Minutes, and this again did not get much play. I don't know why, because our media is dead. But one of the things he said at 60 Minutes is, and I don't know if this actually aired or whether this was, cut and then put in overtime, or I would love to do it, he said about running again. Am I not ruling it out? I mean, you'll have to tell me. Well, is he not ruling it out? I don't know. But what he's basically saying is that unless I'm on the ballot, Republicans, you are screwed. And he pointed to New Jersey and he said, look, I mean, the fact is, this is true. He almost won New Jersey. He didn't almost win it, but he came within 5 points of winning New Jersey last year, which is an insane thing, right? Yeah. And he's saying the fact that I wasn't on the ballot in New Jersey is why Jack Ciattarelli lost by double digits. And I think there are going to be enough Republicans who are going to believe that. Who are going to say, holy shit, we need him on the ballot or else we're not going to be able to win.
Well, this is where there's a bunch of stuff happening. So there's another thing that I left out of the video just because it required too much context. They were at some like luncheon or something with like senators or something like that yesterday. And JD Vance is sitting in the front and like off to the side. And Donald Trump's telling one of his stories about some leader. I'm sure somebody else probably in the chat knows who he was talking about, and said that they had a vice president or they had a second in command that just kind of sat there and was like, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. And he looks over at JD Vance. He's like, oh, I wish I had that. I wish I had that. He's like, JD butts into every conversation. He butts in. He's like, you can stay long term, but just for a couple days, I'd love it if you were like that. Basically, shut up. And like JD Vance's face is like, yeah, okay. Now, meanwhile, JD Vance is meeting at some mountain thing with Peter Thiel and a bunch of other ideologues and billionaires trying to map out the future of the MAGA movement after Donald Trump. They are already planting the seeds and making plans. Now, I think it's stupid of them to make JD Vance the face of that because he's so terribly unlikable. But it is what it is. But this is what they're doing. And this is why we can't take our eye off the ball here. Because meanwhile, Donald Trump is doing this. And like, God forbid, he runs again. And this is all assuming that he's still alive because he don't look good. We're in some trouble. And we talked about this the other day on the show as well. Amy Coney Barrett was in an interview with Brett Baer, I believe, on Fox, and was asked about this as well. And she's like, well, yep, that's what it says. That's what it says in the Constitution. That's what it says. She didn't definitively say, well, no, that's not going to happen, or like, that's crazy. She just kind of.
Yeah, look, I think the situation here is, by the way, did you see South Park last week? You told me to watch South Park last week.
Oh my.
So did people see South Park last week? Because South Park has been depicting the tattoo from Fantasy Island for the last season.
So funny.
It's so funny. I cannot believe how far they're going to screw this. I mean, it is. You have to watch it because I actually made the mistake of watching it with my son, and at the point where the Donald Trump cartoon was literally getting out tweezers to masturbate with tweezers versus tiny pieces. I was like, I don't think I should be watching this with my kid.
Sorry, I forgot about that.
I was like,
I warned you.
But they're also but they have Peter Thiel. They have Peter Thiel in South Park, and they have tattoo / JD Vance kind of sucks Trump, and then the minute he kind of puts Trump to bed, he goes into the secret room and he starts talking and plotting with Peter Thiel.
Right.
And the reality is, I'm watching this and then I'm listening to what Michelle just said, and I'm like, South Park is coming to life. Legitimately, South Park is coming to life. He's seriously plotting with Peter Thiel about the future of the movement, as South Park is depicting him doing on the cartoon, and has depicted him before, obviously, this happened. So
there's a thing called, okay, now look in the Washington Post. They did a story on this yesterday. The secretive donor circle that lifted JD Vance is now rewriting MAGA's future. Okay, it's called, and we should do something on this in the near future. It's called the Rockbridge Network. It is a conservative political advocacy group founded by JD Vance and Chris Buskirk. The group has been backed by Silicon Valley investors and become known for its connections to investors in the tech industry as well as the second Donald Trump administration. And they have this like mountain or something that they go meet at. And the Daily Beast did a story on it as well. The secret GOP cabal with Vance and Thiel plots eternal MAGA rule. Yeah, they meet up. Business people and influencers meet up in a small Ohio town to brainstorm on building the MAGA movement that outlasts Trump. A Washington Post report published Tuesday morning revealed details of a 2019 GOP strategy meeting in the small town of Rockbridge, Ohio, attended by billionaires and media personalities, including former Fox News host Tucker Carlson, hedge fund manager Rebecca Mercer, and economist Oren Cass. So this stuff, like they're already planning it and they're trying to put all of the things in place now so that it will be easier.
Hey, what are Democrats doing, Michelle? Like seriously, like what are we doing here? What are Democrats doing?
Well, this is what we relate to the game on Project 2025 too.
Yep.
Late to the game.
Yeah. I mean, meanwhile, you have this clown talking about he just discovered affordability. I mean,
it's a new word.
Literally,
it's a new word. They got a new word. It's called affordability, and nobody ever talks about it.
Every single candidate. He talked about affordability. Does he not understand what he talked about when he said he was going to lower the price of, I'm going to bring down the price of bacon. I'm going to bring down the price. Like that's hey, Mr. President, that's affordability.
Right.
I mean, I know you had somebody take the SATs for you, but to be honest with you, affordability is that kind of word that's affordability. And I can tell you from having lived in the New York City media market this past cycle and seeing all the commercials from every mayoral candidate and all the commercials every gubernatorial candidate in New Jersey, because they're in our media market also, they all talked about affordability, except Andrew Cuomo, who leaned heavily into the Islamophobia.
Okay. And also, did you see that weird ass thing he posted the day before the election in front of a white Bronco?
No.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I'll find it and we'll show it tomorrow. He does this video in front of a white Bronco. Yes.
Okay.
It's like an iPhone, and he's like, I'm standing in front of a white Bronco, but it's not that white Bronco. And he's like, and then he goes into this thing about OJ and starts talking about the detail on it and how it's super weird. I'm like, what is he doing?
What was the point?
So weird. I don't even remember what the point was. I don't remember what the point was. He was standing in front of a white Bronco on a street in New York.
You know what, you guys?
About OJ.
I don't understand if it's an aging thing and these people are just all kind of going down a road because they're getting older that a lot of people go down, or like there's something in the water where like you run against a progressive and you suddenly turn into an Islamophobic weirdo who doesn't understand words like affordability and brings in OJ Simpson and white Brock. Like what? Like how do you expect to win when people think you're insane? I mean,
well, that's the thing.
Donald Trump won because he's insane. I mean, people think that's charming, I guess. But he's a generous guy. Like nobody's like Trump. So when you try to emulate the crazy, you're not going to win.
You just look insane.
You look insane. Like you standing in front of a white Bronco talking about OJ the day before the election is not going to make me think you're competent to actually run the nation's largest city. Like it's just not.
This is Andrew Cuomo. This is Newsweek. Andrew Cuomo defends campaigning in white Ford Bronco. Former Governor Andrew Cuomo defended campaign, blah, 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 saying the distinctive car has nothing to do with late O.J. Simpson. On the eve of Election Day in New York City, the independent mayoral candidate shared a video on Instagram where he defended hopping in what he described as his good luck truck after social media users were bewildered to see him in the vehicle. And then he went on this whole rant about the truck and then he's like, the white Ford Bronco is made infamous in June of '94. O.J. Simpson, ex-football star, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Let's move on from these crazies to Mr. President. welcome to the affordability crisis.
Yeah, and I'm so proud of you that you
Yeah,
now.
you should know that word because you own it.
Yeah, it's just like it's like a beautiful new word. Groceries, groceries, groceries.
Yeah,
Who knew groceries?
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
a
so
beautiful word, affordability, which you own, and you have to understand that people blame you for the affordability crisis. So if you didn't know what that was before, you better know it now, because the world has shown, the nation has shown from sea to shining sea that they blame you.
Yep.
You lost the supermajority in Mississippi. You lost statewide elections for state office in Georgia that Democrats have not controlled in 22 years. You had a shellacking in Virginia for a Democrat who got more votes than I think in the history of the state. Mikey Sherrill, who should have lost this election or won it by 1 or 2 points, won by 13 or 14.
Yeah, didn't she and Mikey Sherrill won by about 13 points, right?
Huge margins. Huge margins.
Wild.
Zora Mondani broke 50% in New York City because people hate you.
Mm-hmm.
They hate you. And they hate you for many reasons, but one of them is this newfangled word, affordability, which they feel you have ignored. And rightly so, because you did not know the word until yesterday. Welcome to the fight. All right, let's move on. You guys, how do you solve a problem like Marjorie Taylor Greene?
How do you solve a problem? Sorry.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, who's gone from talking about Jewish space lasers to suddenly sounding, I guess, reasonable. Do we have clips? I don't even know.
We do. I don't know exactly what each of them are. I didn't label them, so we're just gonna. I've got like 4 of them. So we're gonna play. Let's see. This one is. She's blaming Mike Johnson.
The worst thing that I just can't get over is we're not working right now. And I put that criticism directly on the Speaker of the House. And we should be at work. All the people sitting in this audience, they go to work every day. People at home watching this show, they go to work every day. Ladies, you go to work every day. The people on your set. And it is an embarrassment to me that we're not in session.
Let's keep going.
The worst thing.
Oh wait, that's not it. That makes sense.
I want all the programs to be funded, and I think that is our job, all of us together, Republicans and Democrats in the House and the Senate. And I'll look, I'm with women, so I feel very comfortable saying this. I'm really tired of the pissing contest in Washington, D.C. between the men. I really am.
Women, it's so nice to have.
And my personal favorite.
Don't believe in the QAnon conspiracies anymore?
Oh, I went over that a long time ago. I mean,
you've changed.
Well, no, I haven't changed. I was a victim, just like you were, of media lies and stuff you read on social media. You all have attacked me many times on this show. Because of things that you read about me. That weren't true.
Or clips we've seen.
Or clips you've seen
the Jewish
that
space
took me out of
lasers.
context.
What was that about?
No, but
wait, hold
not
up.
even true.
Let's take a second.
Yeah, it's been rebuffed.
I'm getting the.
I love Joy Behar. Like the Jewish space lasers. What was that about?
We cut that off. I actually wanted to see her. She said that wasn't true. It was true, but
yeah.
But you guys, what's weird about this is she sounded so eminently normal that it begs the question: what the hell is she up to now? Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez raised a theory that actually we've talked about here. So I'm glad that she's got.
Yeah, I have this clip too. She did an Instagram live the other night, as she often does. And this is a clip from that live on Instagram.
MTG, people are like, oh my God, she's saying all of these things. Like, what's gotten into her lately? Oh, like she's bucking against Trump. She's bucking against the administration. Marjorie Taylor Greene wanted to run for Senate in Georgia. She wanted to run for Senate earlier this year in the state of Georgia. She wanted to be the Republican nominee for Senate. So she was gearing up for that statewide race, and Trump told her no. Trump said no. And the White House and Trump land shut down Marjorie Taylor Greene's personal ambitions to run for Senate. And she has been on a revenge tour ever since.
And there you have it.
Well, I actually have a theory about this that's partially that.
Mm-hmm.
It is also that she has understood in some ways why they told her no. Because crazy QAnon March could not win
Mm-hmm.
that election in Georgia. Georgia is trending purple. And I don't know that they would elect her to succeed Brian Kemp, who actually is like
Who's like a legit person. You know what I mean?
like semi-reasonable Republican. And I think it's not just that. It's not a revenge tour. I think she probably, maybe partially a revenge tour, but I think she actually took that to heart. And she's doing the transformation to sound more reasonable so she could win in Georgia.
Yeah, and she's explaining, I mean, whether it's true or not, what's going on with her. And listen, I mean, she's saying some things that Republicans are saying behind closed doors, as we all know, but they don't have the cojones to come out and say it publicly. And same with Marjorie Taylor Greene and her support of the Jeffrey Epstein victims. Now, again, I've said this, that whether this is performative or not in terms of the Epstein victims, I don't care if it's performative or not. I don't care if it's self-serving or not. The fact that she's saying it at all and it's coming out of her mouth and that base is going to hear her say it, that matters. And it matters to women who hear that support. I think it makes a difference. But the other piece of this also is, who is this woman? Who are you? I don't know who she is because we've seen a couple versions of her now. I mean, this one is a lot more palatable for sure, but also she's very performative. That's the other thing about her.
Yeah.
She's a performer. She always has been since day one. And let us not forget that her boyfriend is Brian Glenn. Her boyfriend is Brian Glenn, who I think runs, or he's a lead anchor person at Right Side Broadcast News.
Yeah.
Right Side Broadcast News is like an online news outlet. They were probably the only ones covering a lot of the Trump rallies during the 4 years that he was out of office, because nobody else was covering them. And they were going everywhere, and all of their anchors, I hate using these words because they're clowns. All the anchors are like the most sycophantic, over the top. Like it's so unserious.
Asked Zelensky that question about the suit.
Yes, that's him. That is him.
Back in February, whenever Zelensky got,
he's like, "Why aren't you wearing a suit?"
Yeah, that's the guy. But I also want she'll dump him eventually if he becomes an albatross for her.
Yeah.
But she won her primary. I remember when she first won her election. People were like, "Oh, we have the first QAnon congressperson." She won her primary by tacking way not just to the right, but to the crazy, right? Because she saw which way the wind was blowing.
Yep.
And that's how she got to Congress. And she succeeded in Congress by getting attention.
Yep.
By saying crazy shit, including the
yelling and the screaming during the State of the Union with Lauren Boebert. Now, again, you don't see her with Lauren Boebert anymore.
Well, they hate each other. They had that big falling out.
Yeah.
But what I think is interesting about all this is that she exploited what she needed to do to get to Congress. She exploited what she needed to do to get to a kind of a higher position in Congress, or at least visibility. And now she's tacking to the left and go reasonable so that she can win a statewide election in Georgia.
Yeah.
This is not a person you should trust.
Oh no.
She's not having a conversion. She's not having
she's having a rebrand. That's very different.
A rebrand. Exactly. That's a great way to put it, Michelle. She's having a rebrand in the same way that Coke, if they weren't selling a product, would have a rebrand.
Right.
And she's very shrewd and she's very smart. And
very smart. She's worth millions of dollars. Just so people know, Marjorie Taylor Greene is very wealthy independently, like with business. Like she's been running a business in Georgia for a long time. And there were headlines yesterday that she's gearing up to run for president also. I mean, in 2028. And this version of Marjorie Taylor Greene, I don't know. I don't know, guys. I mean, again, though, this is where the earnestness of the Democrats and the left and the desire and hunger to want to trust someone and hear and see a redemption story and like all of these things are going to fall for it. We're all going to fall for it.
Yeah, don't fall for it. There are other candidates running in Georgia who are, well, like Democrats, who are normal. And look, I think what she's trying to do is she's going to run anyway for governor. But what's interesting is if she runs for governor, she's going to have to give up her congressional seat.
Right.
Although
I'm in Georgia, can you run at the same time?
That's a good question. I'm not sure if you could be in the ballot.
In New York, I know at least I could, just because I'm obsessed with her doing dumb stuff. But I know you can do that here. But I guess it depends on the state, right? Or is it a federal rule? I don't know.
In New Jersey, Cory Booker ran for both. He ran for president, and then he ran, which he never appeared on the New Jersey ballot because he dropped out before. But they did change the law to allow him to appear as a senator and as a president.
Okay.
So, I think it's just a rebrand, as Michelle said. And I find it fascinating that the ladies at The View were like, oh, okay. And they have, by the way,
they got a note from the higher ups.
They got a note from Disney. You got to have more Republicans here. People think that you are just a place for Democrats to come on and spew propaganda and that you're always mean to anybody who comes on. You got to have Republicans and you got to be more respectful of them, which is why after the Jewish space laser thing, Whoopi was like, oh, got to wrap it up. Got to be responsible. Got to be, not responsible. But
she's like, I'm getting the, I think she threw the producers under the bus. But I mean, that's.
I bet you are getting the rap side so that you don't have to ask the question. I mean, this is like, listen, The View.
I mean, I will say it's more watchable than it has been in the past.
Well, because you don't have, certain people on there who are
right. Meghan McCain's not there, and Hasselbeck, whatever her name is, she's not there. I mean, those years I was like, woof. I can't. It's so bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I certainly don't like this version that they're going to be telling them what they can and cannot say.
Yeah. But it's she's just gross, because I would respect it more if she stuck to her convictions. I'm glad that she's coming out there on Epstein. I think it's important.
Yeah.
But she's going to find very quickly that if Donald Trump shuts her down, she's not going to have much of a platform anymore. I mean, she'll continue to go on The View, and she'll continue to go on, CNN and MSNBC or wherever she wants to go to kind of be anti-Trump. But she's not going to have a future in the Republican Party. And Trump will endorse her opponent in the primary, and she will lose. So I don't know what her strategy is. I mean, I think she's very smart. I think she sees the way the wind is blowing just nationally.
Yeah, I'm sure this is something she's talking about with her consultants every single day. Yeah.
But the reality is that if she continues to sort of do this without Trump's blessing, she's not going to win. Now, did Trump say to her, you cannot run right now, but if you show me that you're a viable statewide candidate, maybe I'll support you.
Because that's the one name that has not come out of her mouth.
She has not.
And she was listing all of the powerful people and the things. She never said Trump.
Yep.
With the Epstein stuff, she never said his name.
Yep.
She alluded to it, but never said it.
And it's interesting because she's going after Mike Johnson big time. The way she went after his predecessor big time. She threw her support behind Johnson, as I remember. I think she also threw her support behind McCarthy, and that kind of broke. I'm trying to remember where.
Yeah, it's all blurred.
Yeah, it's all blurred. But she's, it's just, it's just fascinating to me to watch the rebrand because it's so obvious as to what's happening, and I think AOC is partially right. But I think it's more than that. I think she is.
And she's hearing stuff too. I mean, like, you know what I mean? In the house.
Yeah.
Not that they're ever there.
But I think it's more than that. I really think she's trying to rebrand herself in order to become a viable statewide candidate. And she's doing a good job if people fall for it.
Yep.
But she's got to get through a primary first. And I don't know that she would get through a primary if Trump decided that he was not going to back her, which is why she's not mentioning Trump's name. And if she's not mentioning Trump's name, but she's going after Mike Johnson, she's full of shit because Mike Johnson's only taking orders from Trump. It's not like Mike Johnson has will of his own.
Right. He's a little wind-up toy. You gotta wind him up.
He's a little Keebler elf, as Michelle said. And the good people at Kellogg or whoever the hell owns the Keebler elf are telling him what to do. In this case, it's Donald Trump. So I don't know. The whole thing to me is so performative. It's crazy. And she's on she goes on Bill Maher. She goes on The View.
Yep. She's on a tour. She's on a press tour. I
saw her on CNN. I guarantee you she'll pop up on MSNBC before it's all over. And she's trying to bring over more moderate, independent voters to her side. She may very well succeed. But understand, Georgia.
It's uncanny. It's uncanny. Julie. It's uncanny. Anyways.
Oh, the Keebler elf who runs the house. He really does little ears.
I know. He looks just like him.
Yeah. Listen, he is the evil Keebler elf. That's true. But whatever she's doing, maybe enough people fall for it. But understand, Georgia, if you elect her, what are you going to get? Do we have more Keebler elf elements, Michelle, that you want to put up? I see many different Keebler.
Oh, here's another one. I had them saved the other day on my computer.
that's kind of a heavier Mike Johnson.
Yeah, this one's here's the thing. Is this Mike Johnson or is this Jeff Sessions? Very similar. Very similar vibes, similar looks, similar auras, really. Similar accents.
Yeah.
So, just saying.
Yeah.
There's something going on in that cookie tree. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to know.
Well, we know what's going on in that cookie tree. He's keeping his cookie son accountable for watching porn and vice versa.
Oh my God. See, this is what I'm saying. Like, why have we collectively as a country forgotten about this? Why have we collectively as a country and the media forgotten that Mike Johnson said out loud, publicly, and this is before he was Speaker of the House, and it just hasn't been brought up really, that he says that he and his son monitor each other's porn intake. What? That is crazy and weird and insane. And for all these people who are like, well, the family values and this and ladies sit down and all this crap, to your child, you are talking to your child about pornography intake, monitoring each other to make sure you're not watching too much of it. And, let's connect the dots. What are people doing when they're watching porn usually? This is weird, guys. Not to mention that adopted son that he had when he was a single man who was, where's that kid? What happened to him? We don't know. Listen.
Wait. He adopted a son before he got married?
Do you not know this?
No. Wait, what?
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can find this here. Mike Johnson.
You're talking about Matt Gaetz because I think he adopted a son.
It's also very similar. It's very, very similar. Yeah, he had an adopted Black son, and then he got married and had his own kids, and this adopted son is nowhere in the family photos. You can't see him. No one knows. And listen, he has, I think, since spoken out, right? Just to say hi, I'm here or whatever. Who knows if there's, some sort of arrangement that he can't say things, but and I'm not implying that it's nefarious, but
how old was the son when he was adopted?
Older.
Underage older, 15, 16 older?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Guys, what?
Okay, so when Speaker Johnson first ran for, and he was with Kelly, spoke to their son Michael, who they took it as newlyweds, something. Yeah. PBS interviewer described Michael as adopted. Mr. Johnson did not take issue with that description. However, Ms. Day clarified the Johnsons did not formally adopt Michael because of the lengthy adoption process. So he wasn't even legally adopted, I guess. He just lived there. And I guess like I if it was before and then he got married and they both took care of him or whatever it was. But, you know, since then, you look at the family photos. I'm just going to throw this photo up here. Let me, yeah, this is all very interesting. This is a family photo that does not have this child in it, who now is a man. Oh, sorry. So that's his family, right? And then there's another picture here, I think, of the kid. I'll find it. Anyways, it doesn't matter. It's just like one of those weird stories that people are like, where is he? What's going on? Why did you do that? That's strange. I'm just saying, there's things about Mike Johnson that no one talks about. And I don't understand why. And just so you know, everybody knows, like I just read that. That was a news article that I read about all that. So.
Okay. Well, it's 9 o'clock. We gotta go.
We gotta go.
We had a great segment. Also, we'll save it for tomorrow. We had one more that we wanted to talk about, but
yeah.
actually, we'll save it for
and just so people know, so we're trying to week by week, day by day, Julie and I are trying to figure out like what works, what doesn't. If you see, we got a little cube down the corner. We got the little cube. We're very excited about that cube. Maybe the cube will be up there sometimes. We don't know. We're figuring these things out. Do we want to say who's coming in as a guest tomorrow?
Oh, yes, you guys. So super excited. So tomorrow we will have Mallory McMorrow, who is running for Senate in Michigan. She's in a primary, but she's coming on. She just, I don't know if people know her. She goes viral every time she speaks. I love this woman. She is like the future of the Democratic Party. I really hope she wins her primary. So we have a conversation with her tomorrow, which I'm super excited about. And also at 11 today, Olga Lautman and I are hosting Pax Americana right here on MAYDAY. We brought that show over from Substack here to MAYDAY, so I'm super excited about that. And tomorrow we have Mallory McMorrow, as we talked about. We might be back for Dispatch, depending on what happens later today, Michelle and I. I feel like we did an AMA on Election Day, so I'm not sure if we're going to fit one in, but maybe we'll fit one in this week.
Yeah.
Also. And we will be here for coffee and conversation on Saturday.
Yeah, we will.
So we have a huge rest of the week planned. Despite the Michelle, I'm so proud of you. I have to say, I'm so proud of you for putting together that amazing.
Oh, that's very nice. Thank you.
Clip in the middle of the night.
Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. And I have to say, like, we're on this chat with a bunch of like Democrats and creators and stuff like that. And there's a small team of like a war room, and they send clips all day long, every day. And it is a new thing that has happened recently. And I am just so thankful and so grateful for the Democrats and the DNC for doing this, because that enables some of us to be able to go out into the world and spread the message in our own way and use our own creativity and our own voices in order to do that. So incredibly helpful. And so, it was a much easier lift yesterday. Thank goodness. But we're figuring it out as we go, guys. And please follow us on social. I'm running all the social right now, so I'm trying to stay on top of it. But we are the MAYDAY Network pretty much everywhere except for Twitter. On Twitter, we're just MAYDAY Network because of a character length issue. And we actually have a clip that has gone, like, it's getting some traction. It's Julie telling a story about Jack Chiarelli and Donald Trump and the A+ and the A. And it's so that clip on Instagram, like all of a sudden we started getting a bunch of like reporters following us. So I was like, oh, but that's good. So if you can help us on Instagram, like all of a sudden we started getting a bunch of like reporters following us. So I was like, oh, I'm going to mute you for a second. I'm going to mute you for a second, Julie. I think you have YouTube open on your computer somewhere. Let me know when it stops. Give me a thumbs up. For a second, Julie. Nope, it's still going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close up the show. I don't know what's going on with Julie, but follow us on social. Please help us, get out into the world. It helps us when you share our content. I'm actually going to put that video up that I made of the November 5th stuff with Trump and the Republicans. That'll probably go up in the next hour or so. So if you can help us spread the word and share that, that would be amazing. Otherwise, we'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock Eastern.
Wait. Breaking news before we leave, you guys. I just saw this. Nancy Pelosi just announced her retirement.
I knew it.
Yep.
Knew it.
Yep. What she said she was going to, she kind of implied she was going to do that after Prop 50 passed. So we love Nancy Pelosi. She made some mistakes.
But she's badass.
Overall,
I mean, she really is.
She's the most effective speaker that the House has had, at least in my lifetime, or maybe Tip O'Neill, but for very, very many years. So
first woman to ever hold that gavel, ever.
And we are incredibly grateful to her. Maybe we'll do a little tribute to Nancy Pelosi tomorrow as well. Okay. On that note, I unmuted myself. I don't know what was going on with my.
You know what it is? If you have YouTube open on your computer and like on Safari or any other browser, sometimes it'll start playing and then you're like, oh my God, what happened? That happened the other day too. So I always have to make sure I close all my tabs before I come on. So anyways.
Okay, everybody.
Bye, everyone. See you tomorrow. Be back here at 11 with Julie and Olga.